All right, everybody, welcome back. It has been a long time since we've done a video, and we are on our very last unit for the school year, for your 4th grade school year. We have done Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3. Then I went over and I started Unit 4, Unit 5, Unit 6, and at the very, very bottom, I'm going to put Unit 8. And we are going to be working on fantasy text this unit. So the made-up stories. We're also going to be reviewing and preparing for our STAR test, so just keep that in mind as we're going through it. We're going to be double dipping and doing a couple of different things all at the same time. Now, we did reliable sources, plagiarism, and taking notes for our inquiry unit. So here we are starting Unit 8. I left off on page 61, so I'm just going to mark this one as page number 62. All right, so I'm so excited. I hope you guys are ready for this. We're going to title it Fantasy. And then we're going to say definition, because before we can get started, I've got to make sure I'm spelling this right. Okay, definition. Before we can get started, we need to make sure that we know exactly what it is that we're talking about with fantasy. What makes a story a fantasy story? Well, I'm glad you asked, because fantasy is a story with events or characters that could, and I'm going to put this word in red and capitalize it, not exist in real life. Now, the key word is events or characters. So it could be events, it could be something that happens, or it could be a character that doesn't exist and it happened. When we're looking at fantasy text, when we're looking for elements of a fantasy text, we're going to actually be looking for supernatural occurrences, and supernatural means that it's something that doesn't normally happen in nature. It's not something that you would normally walk out your door and see happening. We might also look for characters with magical powers. Oh, sorry, characters and things with magical powers. Like, I don't know, a lamp in Aladdin, a character, maybe Elsa from Frozen, the Heart of Te Fiti, in Moana. I can't remember the goddess's name, that I think it's the Heart of Te Fiti. Let's see what else. Fairy Godmother and Cinderella. There's all kinds of things. So anything with magical powers. We could also look for animals and things with human characteristics. For example, Beauty and the Beast, you have all of the things in the castle who are running around, you know, Mrs. Potts, who's the teapot, or Chip, her son, who's a teacup, or Lumiere, who is the candelabra that lights up the candles. Those are all things that have human characteristics, but they were not human at the time of the story, not until the Beast changed back. All right. We could also say we might have real people in fantastic places. Alice in Wonderland. Alice could be a real person. She didn't have any magical powers, but she fell into a hole that landed her into Wonderland, And that would be a fantastic place, somewhere that was not part of this earth. Or you could say fantastic creatures or characters in real places. What are some fantastic creatures or characters in real places and stories that you might have heard already or that you might know? All right, that is it for today's notes. Short, sweet, and to the point. So be prepared to discuss fantasy and the definition of fantasy and finding out if a story is a fantasy story or not in your next class with your teacher.